Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, Wife Had Affair for 3 Years. And a big shout out to Michael for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a guy who's been married for 18 years. He thought things were good. He has 2 kids with her, the whole 9 yards. And then about 3 years ago, she started acting differently. Different ways you guys all probably recognize from the stories. And lo and behold, he starts finding out, obviously, she's been up to no good. The problem is our guy here, because he's so fearful of breaking up the family, hurting the kids, being alone, that type of nonsense, that he's trying to make it work. Trying to fix the whole thing, which obviously you guys know doesn't work. Classic mistakes. And as you're going to see, eventually he will realize this ain't going to work. That he can't fix this whole thing. And I'm going to go over here, guys. One, to show you again this stuff happens, but also kind of like a public service announcement, to basically public service warning, whatever they call it, to show you guys, once a cheater, always a cheater. You find out your spouse, man or woman, doesn't make a difference, and the relationship. I know you don't want to hurt the kids. I know you don't want to break up the family. Maybe you don't want to be alone. But guys, these people are scumbags. They're going to keep doing what they're doing and making a fool of you. And they do not care about you. And the guys that wallow thinking that, I still love her, blah, blah, blah. No, you love who you think she is. But ultimately, you're going to see, in the end, you won't be totally annoyed by this guy. So stick around. He says, so I need to get this all at one place for support. You want to read some crazy crap? You've come to the right place. Or maybe it's just crazy because it happened to me. Bro, your story is not unique, unfortunately, and the internet is full of stories like this. Welcome to the club. Something has been off with my wife for about 3 years. For context, we've been married for 18 years. I'm 46, she's 42. We're both pretty good looking, professional, upper middle class, 2 kids, 16 and 14 years old, a dog, yada yada yada. I had kind of a high profile job that paid well, and she was a school teacher. Oh, the stereotypes, the nurses and the school teachers. And by the way, 3 years something's been off. I'd be doing some serious digging after like 3 weeks something's been off. My job was stressful and required me to travel a decent amount, but I always did my best to get home whenever I could, i.e. take the last flight home instead of staying another night, and I was super invested in my kids, coached my son's travel baseball team, which is year-round, and then worked with him because he loved it and took it seriously. We're in the Midwest, so when COVID happened, I stopped traveling, but work did not slow down. As a teacher, she was still required to go in every day, but the kids were rotating, so I did my best to help them stay on track and work. My wife likes to shop, travel, and do that on a teacher's salary. Wasn't possible, so I funded a lot of her lifestyle. And now we know why she's with this guy. Now we know why she married him and why she's staying married to him in spite of what she's doing. Funding her lifestyle. Well, husband, this is when if she literally cannot fund that on her own salary, after her share of the expenses, then you need to draw a line in the sand, have some balls, and say, no. Okay, you can buy some things for yourself, some treats on occasion, some travel, but number one, we're going to travel as a family, and number two, we're going to have a budget here. But so many guys just can't say no. We live in a nice 6-bedroom house, 6-bedroom, and I do more than my fair share of work with the kids and around the house compared to others in our town, friends of ours. Not saying that you get an award, but more for context, I was faithful. I don't do drugs, don't gamble, and drink with friends on occasion, but it's not a problem. So this guy's a good guy. Works hard, stressful job, does what he can to take care of the family. If there's 4 of them, I don't understand why they have a 6-bedroom house. Talk about an American stereotype here. Really? Are they running a hotel, a bed and breakfast here? Between jobs, kids, and house stuff, I thought I did a pretty good job of being a thoughtful and caring husband. Well, you were too thoughtful, too caring, and she doesn't respect you. In hindsight, I absolutely could have done better. But I felt like we had roles. We were a team in trying to raise our kids. I also thought if something was ever that bad, we would communicate with each other, or at the very least, seek counseling. It's important to note that I'm a product of divorced parents, and never wanted my kids to have divorced parents. There's a problem. Now, understandably, of course he doesn't want his kids to go through what he went through. The problem is when I've noticed a lot of marriages like that, where a husband or wife grew up in a broken home or bad household, they want so bad to fix what they didn't have in childhood. They get into marriages too quickly. They're too trusting, And because they're so fearful of a divorce, they put up with way more crap than they should. The other person loses respect for them, and here we are. That's the problem there. In my mind, kids and family come first, and I tend to self-sacrifice for the benefit more than I probably should. In other words, you're too nice, too accommodating, too compliant, you let everybody walk all over you, that type of thing. Because I'm going to be the strong man taking care of my family. You can take care of your family. You can be a good husband and father without being a doormat. I mean, come on, bro. Nobody's going to respect that. Upon reflection, my anxiety may have gotten worse over the years as problems got bigger, and I stressed over things which started zapping the joy for me. So here's the context. That's the context, and here's the story. In March of 2022, I knew something was off in our marriage. You just know it. So I asked her to dinner and shared my feelings, and she said, yes, something was off too. Shared your feelings? Watching a little too much of Mr. Rogers when you were a kid? Instead of sharing your feelings, you say, we need to talk. And you get to the root cause of the issue instead of sharing your feelings. The very next day, I made an appointment to go to marriage counseling, and we started a week later. From the first appointment, she did not participate. What does that tell you? She was standoffish, didn't do anything he asked, and got very defensive when he asked her very specific questions about her behavior. Of course, she doesn't give a shit. For example, she had recently started taking Lexapro for anxiety, and he wanted to unpack that a bit more. She was steadfast that it wasn't a thing and was teaching COVID, etc. He was basically calling her out for not participating, and she wouldn't go anymore. We kind of just went through the motions for a while after that. You shouldn't have let that shit go, man. But again, remember, he says, I put everything first before my feelings, before my wants. Family, kids, that wife, that type of thing. This is what happens with guys when you don't check your woman. In June of 2023, so like a little over a year later, I knew something was way off in our marriage. She left her iPad on the coffee table, and I used it to look up something. An email appeared from Planned Parenthood about an appointment she scheduled this coming Friday. Planned Parenthood? He says, what? Why Planned Parenthood when she's a doctor? The day the appointment came, and we went to dinner. I didn't address the appointment head on, but I asked how she was feeling, if there was anything physically she wanted to address. Nope, she was good. Okay, weird. But she was convincing, and maybe I was just being a little neurotic. Smack! You saw her thinks she got a freaking message from Planned Parenthood. What the hell do you think is going on here? Come on, and it isn't her regular doctor. Again, ooh, I don't want to make her mad. So, because I saw her get mad last time a year ago when we were in the counseling. This guy should have been upon seeing their problems, laying down the law. We gotta talk. End of fucking story. Doing some digging. Hire a PI. Whatever. A couple weeks later, I returned from an out-of-town work trip, and my wife was asleep. I know it's an invasion of privacy, but I couldn't shake the suspicion. So I looked in her phone and found texts between her and another man. Shocker. Sexy stuff, but also family stuff. He actually said sexy stuff. Like her talking to him about our kids like he knew them. My heart sank. I woke her up from her sleep to confront her. Good. Don't let her sleep. She admitted to being in love with another person, which blew my mind. Another person? It's a dude. Why can't you just say a man? What? How? That night she slept on the floor, and I was in bed, and she got up early and went to work. Okay, good. At least she slept on the floor with the dog. That's where she belongs. This is when you say, pack your shit and go to your sister's. Or at least stay in one of our 6 rooms we have here in our house that we don't really need. When she got home, she was paranoid that I would take the kids from her. She said it was only texting. The love comment was because she was sleeping and she was groggy and was so glad I caught her before it was physical. What a load of crap. Guys, your wife, your fiance, hell, even your girlfriend should not be texting with other guys. That is non-negotiable. The problem is so many guys allow it. I told it needed to end right then and there, or I would take the kids and we'd get divorced. And he says, I can't take the kids. We live in a no-fault state. She knows this. She knows you're bluffing. We talked it out for a long time. It didn't feel good, but I felt like she was remorseful and believed she was going to try. Yeah, just like she tried with the marriage counseling. Her weight had fluctuated over time and her wedding rings didn't fit. So I snuck them out of the house to have them resized and gave them back to her at dinner with the kids. I had some job stuff during that time and was feeling down, and my gut feeling was something was off return. Her wedding rings wouldn't fit, so what, she porked up? In October 2023, I was having a bit of a mental issue one day. A super uneasy feeling that I share with her as my life partner. I was having a bit of a breakdown and needed to see a therapist to talk about my feelings. There you go with your feelings again. I said I still don't trust her, and with the work stuff, I had gotten laid off in August, I was feeling weird about everything. So when you caught her talking to another guy, amongst many other things, why aren't you hiring a PI? Why aren't you seeing a lawyer, finding out your options? You know, just, hell, even having some papers ready. Something. You should never let that shit go. What, you just talked it out? Bro, she knows there's no real consequences here. So she's going to keep doing what she's doing. She was sympathetic about my feelings and supportive, but that I was crazy to think that something was going on. So she's saying he's crazy to think something's going on. I asked to see her phone, and she let me. I found a dirty picture and asked, what the fuck is this? But because she didn't send it to me. She gave me some excuses that she thought she looked good and took a picture of it. She's a good liar and makes you feel like you're crazy, so I bought it. Smack! She's gaslighting you. Bro, guess what? I know you don't want to get a divorce. I know you want to repeat what you had as a kid. But you are literally, through your actions, creating, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're creating what you fear by being so nice and accommodating and letting her get away with this shit. I guarantee you she married you just to freaking settle because you could provide her an income and lifestyle. So even though she didn't make as much, she could go splurge on clothes and purses and shoes and bullshit and all that. Probably girls' trips without you. Really? And the only reason she's sticking around is because what you can provide. End it with her. Have some self-respect. It always ends up breaking up anyway. The kids are not, yeah, it'll be hard, but, ultimately they're going to be okay if you handle it as best you can. You got to take care of you. So in November of 2023 for Thanksgiving, we had an awesome trip as a family to North Carolina. We spent a week in the mountains and an Airbnb and with the kids and the dog. It was great to have the connection back as a family, and it felt really good. We then went into the holidays again, and it was really good. She's putting on a show. She's covering her tracks better. Fast forward to March of 2024, and things returned to being a little off again. Not proud of it, but again, I looked at her phone while she was in the shower and noticed more dirty pictures. Bro, how much bullshit and lying and evidence do you need before you finally wake up and have some goddamn self-respect? I told you guys this video is a public service announcement of what not to do. She didn't send them to me, so my radar was up but no text or anything. So I didn't know what was going on. It was a mystery that I needed to solve. A few days later, I looked at her phone again, and while she was asleep, and in the deleted pictures, I found access code to Google Voice. I didn't know Google Voice was even a thing. Hidden with her apps was the GV app, and I opened it, and boom, found text, pictures, everything. Jesus. Okay, bro. I think Jesus is sending you a sign to divorce your bitch-ass wife. Again, I confronted her. Did you make her sleep on the floor? This time she came more clean. More clean, huh? Not fully clean. You're only getting part of the story. She said she was on a work trip. Sidebar, she stopped being a teacher and took a job that required her to travel. She's the last one that should be traveling, man. You should never allow that. And she met up with a guy she's been texting. She said she randomly ran him at the airport. He's a pilot. Randomly? Really? And they rekindled a relationship and had been physical. But only one time. That ended up being a lie. She texted him purposely to meet up. Bro, divorce. Bitch, get the fuck out. And you can't even stay in one of our 6 rooms in the house. Get the hell out. Go stay with your sister. Go stay with the pilot. I don't care. We're done. I was crushed and said that if she wanted to save the marriage, we needed to go to counseling ASAP, and she needed to put in the effort. Smack! There's no saving the marriage. She doesn't give a shit about you. She's a freaking sociopath. No matter how much bullshit goes on, she talks her way out of it. And she knows you. This is the problem, guys. And this is a learning video. When women know that you won't go anywhere. Women have to know that they cross the line, whatever that line may be. Whatever boundaries you set, spoken or unspoken. That if it's crossed, you're out of there. no matter how bad it's going to get, because they're never going to respect you otherwise. Guys that act like doormats, women don't respect, and they will never love a guy they don't respect. Why do you think the women spread them for the bad boys? Because the bad boys don't put up with their bullshit. The bad boys will kick him to the curb and replace him like that. That's the problem with nice. That's one of the problems with nice guys. And it even means divorce. So what? Anyway, she agreed, but dragging her feet on scheduling anything for several weeks, until I finally did it for her. Stupid, I know, but I really wanted to save our family, and I thought we could get the help as a couple and it would work. What are you going to fix in marriage counseling? Is it going to change the fact that she's a liar, that she's devious, that she's a cheater, that she has no respect for you? Do you think marriage counseling is going to fix that, dude? If there were any kids, would you be doing this really? Come on here. Don't worry, guys. In the end, it'll improve. We started counseling with a great counselor who didn't take her BS excuses and forced her to begin addressing some issues. My wife wanted to also do individual counseling with her, and the counselor agreed, but said that if she learned anything that she felt that I needed to know, she'd make my wife tell me. My wife never went to individual counseling, so we went to a few sessions. Things started to get better, and we started talking about our future together. Shit, we even got a new puppy for the kids. No, things didn't get better. She just put things on pause, or just covered her tracks better. Bro, how can you look yourself in the mirror? How can you look at your kids with any respect? She's cheating on you. She's fucking some other dude, repeatedly lying for years. See, this is why, guys, I'm hard on these guys, because you have to. Because men are just morons with their fucking thick skulls. You gotta smack the shit out of them, physically and verbally. You know, and there's also a point, guys, that I just don't feel bad for guys. I feel bad for a good guy who's being cheated on, but if he repeatedly keeps causing the situation to get worse and not do anything about it, there's a point, it's like, you know what? You deserve what you get. And then the bomb was dropped on me on the 4th of July. We're at my in-laws' house having a few great days, and we ended our trip that evening with a family ice cream outing. I got a text from a random number with a picture of my wife asking if I knew this woman. He proceeded to tell me their relationship began 3 years ago. 3 effing years, and they were together in May when we took another business trip. What'd you expect? It was going to get better? Come on, don't be a moron. How much suffering, how much embarrassment, humiliation did you got to go through to get through your thick skull? This is why I just said about you got to smack guys upside the head. After we started counseling, she did this after we got the puppy. After all this crap happened, she met his kids, college-age kids, met his friends, talked about how unhappy she was, and wanted to leave me. She was leading a double life and admitted that to me. Gee, 3 years ago, that's when you saw things were a problem and you started addressing them and then just, swept it under the rug. She's laughing at you, dude. They're all laughing at you. Shit, a lot of people here are laughing at you. He told me because she ended with him and he got mad, he wanted to get back at her. It's been a spiral ever since. How could someone I've been with for 20 years do something to someone they claim they love? At the very least, the father of their kids. Newsflash, sir. This happens all the time. The internet's full of stories like this. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. 3,000 plus videos on different channels. How much convincing do you need? She doesn't love you, and you don't love her. You love who you thought she was all this time. And it doesn't make a difference. She's the mother of your kids. It doesn't make a difference if she was a so-called great mom. She ain't a great mom if she's cheating on you and the kids and doing this behind your back. And it was already meeting the lovers' kids and stuff like that. She was getting out of town. I've been a spiral ever since. How could someone have been with blah, blah, blah? I still love her. Smack. No, you don't. You love who you thought she was. And I don't want to get divorced for the sake of the kids. And I can't figure out why. Any suggestions? Yeah, get a fucking clue. Yeah, I've held off filing for divorce. God knows why, but we're getting an apartment that we'll share so the kids don't have to leave the house, and we'll figure this shit out. Writing this was therapeutic because it kept you all in one place, and I'm now seeing I need to end it. I deserve better. Now, here he responded to some questions in the comment section, and here's the one I wanted to highlight to end this story with. He says, so, some of these comments are hard to read, but none of them are wrong. I hope something was broken in her, and by being caught, she'd own up to it and see the error of her ways, and want to make this work for me and the kids. I thought wrong. Duh. In reality, I didn't find out the full story until recently, and have been coming to grips with all that. I've already met with an attorney, which pissed her off for some reason, and she signed a lease on an apartment today, so she's on her way out. I guess my anxiety of being alone, even though deep down I know I'll be okay, and the damage to my kids were blinding me to the real her. There you go. Thank God. He talked to her lawyer. He's getting things rolling. She got a lease on an apartment. She's moving out. Good. See, all his fear and not wanting to end it and break up the home and the kids, it all ended this way anyway. That's how these stories usually go. So, bro, you may not see this. I wish you the best. This shouldn't happen to anyone. I'm sorry it happened to you. Yes, I get you broken home as a kid. You didn't want to hurt your kids. But look where it ended up anyway. She does not love you at all. The likelihood is she settled for you because she knew you'd provide a lifestyle that she would enjoy and she could teach but live beyond her means what she makes for her salary. She wasn't just cheating on you, she was cheating on your children. Okay? She's a shitty mother. Okay? End of story. A shitty wife. And you don't love her. You love who you thought she was. You had your head in the sand all this time. And I'm willing to bet you anything. This has been going a lot longer than 3 years. Hell, I would be getting an STD test right now if you've been remotely hooking up, which probably you're not. And I would also do the following, and I know you don't want to hear this, I would DNA test those kids. They may not be your kids, given her actions. I know it'd be a nightmare for you, but you got to know. End of story. But this is what happens, guys, when you, like I said, public service announcement here, behave in this way. You make her the center of your universe because you're so fearful of getting a divorce. You're walking on eggshells, give her everything you want. This is how nice guys behave. What happens to the nice guys? They either get treated like shit and not a whole lot of love and respect, or they get cheated on. She's been doing this for years, and I guarantee you longer than he knows. Again, how do women treat the bad boys? They chase after the bad boys because the bad boys will get rid of them like that. They piss them off. You know? They know they can replace them. Women that know their guy isn't going anywhere no matter what, this is the type of bullshit that happens. And it can get even worse than that. So, sir, I wish you the best, but come on. Do not take her back, and she's going to try to get you to take her back when she realizes that her lifestyle is going to be changed because she wants to enjoy the lifestyle you provide and also hook up other guys. Don't fall for it. If you take her back, guarantee she'll do it again. And you take her back, nobody is going to feel bad for you. That's what I think. So there you go, guys. In the end, she's moving out. Thank the Lord. He's getting a clue. But my God, don't be this guy. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.